there has been this trend going around on social media called Deinfluencing, which is basically people sharing pieces that they wouldn't recommend that you spend your money on. It's something that I feel like I do in most of my videos, but I guess here we go again. And today's video might be just a little bit controversial because we're going to be discussing popular luxury pieces that are so popular they kind of feel overdone, and dare I say even basic at this point. So without further ado, if you'd like to hear my honest thoughts on cult classics from Hermes, Cartier and more that I really don't think will make you stand out for the right reasons, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. I have to be honest, some of these pieces I quite like, some of them I actually own, others I appreciate the design of, but at this point, you know, when it comes to spending this sort of money, when it comes to buying luxury pieces, I want you to look and feel like you're one in a million, not that you are just one out of a million other people who own these things, because we have to be honest, all luxury lovers out there will have something along these lines in their collections. Whether they have the real thing, a replica, or dupe, they will have these pieces in some shape or form in their collections. And you know, if you're buying these things because of the design, because it's genuinely something that you appreciate, if you buy them because of the craftsmanship, the colors, the leathers, by all means go ahead. But if you're going back and forth and you're thinking, you know, we've kind of been there, we've kind of done it, is it still something that's worth spending money on? In my humble opinion, it is not. But without further ado, let's dive straight in and start with a bag that has been the it bag for the past couple of years, and the craze doesn't seem to be slowing down, which is the Bottega Jody bag. Now, this is not a new style by any means. It has been around for quite a while, but what sparked the craze for this bag is the introduction of the Mini Jody, which is something that you'll see over and over and over again. You can open up any one of your social media apps, you can go to a popular shopping destination, a popular luxury boutique, or your local sort of luxury district, and I can guarantee that you'll see not only the Jody bag over and over and over again, but most of these pieces. And while there's nothing wrong with the Jody bag, in case you're not familiar with the idea, I don't know why, but it's always reminded me of a croissant. It's this tiny little knotted hobo bag, which comes in a ton of different colors and a ton of different finishes, but it's not only kind of overdone at this point, and it's something that you'll see over and over again, but it's not the most practical to use either. Just knowing people who own this bag and being out with friends who carry this bag, I know that it can be a pain to get in and out of, especially if you get it in the traditional knotted version, or sorry, the woven version, because there's so much leather gathered around the zipper that it makes it quite tough for you to open and close it and just get in and out of the bag. Obviously, if you're not going to carry anything in this bag, you're just going to use it for pictures and as an accessory, it's not something that you should be concerned about. But if you actually want to use it as a functioning bag, it might be something that is going to give you a little bit of a headache. So it's personally not something that I would spend the money on. Next time you're out shopping with your friends, this is actually something that you could turn into a game. Just sit down at a coffee shop near your favorite boutiques and try to count how many of these pieces you come across. You could even turn this into a drinking game, although I have to warn you, it might be dangerous because I can guarantee that you'll see a lot of these pieces. But the next item or the next design that I wanted to tell you about, which I personally think is extremely overdone, is the YSL, I think it's called the 5-7 bag, which very much plays into this 90s inspired mini shoulder bag trend. And obviously there are quite a few of these bags out there. The difference between this and some of the other competitors is the large YSL logo that this bag features, which, I mean, I personally wouldn't buy anything with a large YSL logo on it, but especially not a bag like this, because I do think that these styles, there are a few things that look as unsophisticated as these bags. If you are looking to buy a bag from YSL, look into their newer bag, which I think is called the Le Maillon bag, which I quite like. The Soc de Jour is also an incredible bag to look into, but this I think just goes a little bit overboard, and instead of it adding a casual look and feel to an outfit, it tends to make it just feel quite cheap, especially with that large YSL emblem on it. And if you're out and about traveling, something that you'll probably see over and over again is going to be the Louis Vuitton duffels. And I have to be honest, it's something that I was tempted by at one point, just because it is kind of the go-to duffel bag for most luxury lovers out there. They are lightweight, they are reasonably priced, they come in a ton of different prints, and sizes, they are something that you can use on a daily basis, especially if you go to the gym from work or if you travel a lot. It is a great lightweight bag to take with you. Personally, I'm not a duffel kind of guy for traveling. I just enjoy the ease of a carry-on suitcase, it being on wheels. But if you don't mind lugging around all your essentials, if you enjoy the flexibility of a duffel bag, I can understand why you would be tempted by the Louis Vuitton duffels. But I just feel like there are so many much better alternatives at this point, things that don't bring you as much unwanted attention as any one of Louis Vuitton's travel pieces, be it a suitcase or a duffel bag. If you are looking for a heavy duty duffel bag that you can carry to the gym, you can carry to work, but you can also use for traveling, maybe look into the Celine travel bags if you like a little bit of a logo, but a logo that is not as widely recognized as Louis Vuitton's. And then if you're looking for something that is quite a bit more subtle, you could look into the large Her bags from Hermes, or even Bottega has some incredible duffel bags. They do have some heavy duty leather duffels, and they also have some shoppers that I think would be amazing for traveling, like the Kaba tote bags, which I completely understand that they might be 3 or 4 times the price of a Louis Vuitton duffel bag, but at the same time I can guarantee that they're going to make you look 100 times more expensive than any Louis Vuitton piece of luggage would. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this next collection because you guys already know my thoughts, but I couldn't make a video talking about some of the most overdone and overrated luxury pieces without mentioning this collection, which is the Cartier Love line across the board. I mean, there are some pieces that I appreciate more than others, but when it comes to the classic Cartier Love bracelets and Love rings, which are pieces that I do own and I did spend my own money on, I just feel like we've been there, we've seen it, we've done it, and we don't have to do it ever again. I feel like it's one of those pieces, depending on where you live, if you are a regular at luxury stores, if you live in a big city, it's something that you will see over and over and over again. And I'm not saying that everyone owns the real thing, but they will have it in some shape or form. And I understand that some people are attached to these things because they have a sentimental value to them. And if that's the case for you, continue enjoying it. But if you are thinking about jumpstarting your Cartier collection, if you are saving up for one of these pieces, I would perhaps steer in the direction of getting another piece from Cartier. I personally really appreciate their Panther line. I much prefer their Trinity line. I think that's a great one to look into, even though it's a well-known collection from Cartier. It is a lot more understated than any one of the Love pieces. If you are looking for something that will add quite a bit of statement to your collection, something that is a head-turning, show-stopping piece, but isn't nearly as overplayed as the Love collection from Cartier, definitely check out the Bulgari Serpentine line, which there's no question about it. It is an iconic collection, but it is beautifully crafted and it's not nearly as common as any one of the Cartier Love pieces. This next piece, believe it or not, might have the biggest cult following out of everything that we're talking about in today's video, which is from a brand that I have been slowly but surely getting into. It's a brand that I really appreciate the aesthetic of, but this next piece, no matter how popular it is just not something that personally I would. I mean, I have considered adding it to my collection, but I just don't think I would, simply because of how popular it is. This piece is what the Birkin is to Hermes. It is their pension fund. It is what really keeps the lights on, which is from a brand called Loro Piana, and is their so-called summer walk or open walk, depending on which style we're talking about, but they're pretty much the same thing, which are these really cool, flexible, sort of technical looking loafers that were created for the true gentleman. The idea is that they are so easy to use and so comfortable that they will seamlessly blend into your life. They feature no laces, so if you're so busy that you have to make every single second count, you don't have to waste your time tying your shoelaces, you can just slip these on. They feature a really soft rubber sole, so if you want to jump on your boat throughout the day, you can. They come, as I mentioned, in 2 different heights, so you can wear them with a suit if you opt for sort of their boot version, or if you're looking to wear these with a pair of shorts or with a more casual linen pant, you can get a low top version of these. So I love the idea of these really simple but really well put together shoes. The reason I would not suggest putting this on everyone's radar is because of how it's quite an acquired taste. It's a particular look. It's one of those things that will dress down a really formal outfit, but it won't work the other way around. It will not dress up an extremely casual outfit. It just simply doesn't work with the kind of things that I have in my collection. I wear a lot of skinny jeans. These don't look great with skinny jeans. I have seen people wear these with ripped jeans, which just looks really weird and kind of out of place. If you have a really formal look, I think you will really appreciate these shoes because they will help to balance out an outfit and make it look just a little bit more laid back. But if you have a more casual style to begin with, these really won't do too much for you. These will look out of place. They will make you look disjointed. And I just really don't think that it is the right way to go. It is like, it kind of reminds me of wearing an Van Cleef Alhambra tam motif necklace with a sweatsuit. It rarely, if ever, works. So I do think that these shoes work for some people if you have a more formal look, if you appreciate a more tailored aesthetic and wardrobe. Yes, you're going to love these, but if you are on the more casual side, don't buy these just because these are becoming a status symbol. I have seen people demand that these shoes be brought out because they're getting more and more difficult to get, but I can tell you that it will not work with every single look, regardless of what people tell you online. Last but not least, let's talk about two pieces from Hermes, which honestly I wouldn't be surprised if these were the best sellers from the brand, and even if they are not the best sellers, they are definitely in the top 10. And let's start with the Avalon blanket and pillows, which I recently discussed in, I think it was in a home vlog, which if you haven't seen, make sure to have it linked up here. I show you guys close up. I discuss why I have not been the biggest fan of these pieces, even though I own several pieces from the Avalon collection, and it's just really not something that I would really want to spend my money on at this point again. If you open any sort of luxury magazine, I can guarantee that these things will be featured in every luxury inspired home in some shape or form, and they're kind of predictable and even expected at this point, and that's not what I want from my home, especially not considering the price, the quality, and the fact that there are so many other much more sophisticated and elaborate alternatives. If you're looking for some Hermes pillows and blankets to add to your home, definitely check out the Yak and Dye collection, which I have to be honest is going to be slightly more expensive, but at the same time you do get what you pay for. They will not only make your home look a lot more expensive, but it will also feel more expensive because the quality is just, I mean, they could not be mentioned on the same page. And if you're looking for something in a similar price range, Loewe has some great pieces, or even Hermes, that don't feature the large H branding like their Brie de Gala pieces. So you have plenty to choose from, but I would personally want my home to feel a lot more personal to me than living in a cliche. And the last piece that I wanted to share with you here is actually something that I just have to be honest about. It's one of those things that I used to love, but at this point, I don't think I can see another one for a while. This is one of those pieces that I feel like Hermes they just need to give it a break, because Hermes is quick to discontinue and then reintroduce pieces, and I think it's time to do the same with this upcoming piece. And I know it's going to make a lot of people upset, but I feel like the Mini Kelly has become quite overdone at this point, which is surprising considering how difficult it still is to get. But anytime I open my social media, I just see it over and over and over again. It used to be one of those pieces that anytime I saw one, it would take my breath away for a quick second, whereas now anytime I see a Mini Kelly, I'm like, not another one, which again, it's quite a weird thing because I understand that it's still really difficult to get. When I was still in the mood for small bags, I was hunting for this bag in different colors and they were extremely tough to find. So I'm not sure how they have become so overdone. Now that I'm thinking about it, even when I'm out and about in the wild, unless I'm at Hermes, I really don't see too many of these bags. Yet anytime I open social media, it's just there over and over and over again. So I could say that it is one of those bags that was ruined by social media for me. And I just think it is time to give this bag a break. I think it's been hyped up way too much, especially for the quality, which yes, Hermes bags are the most exquisitely created bags. But if you compare Mini Kelly to some other creations by Hermes, you can definitely feel the difference. A Mini Kelly tends to be a lot more flimsy. There tend to be a lot more flaws on Mini Kellys. I have friends who had issues with the handle being a weird shape and getting deformed. I have seen Mini Kellys that came with longer and shorter straps than they were supposed to. There are a lot of Mini Kellys out there that are lopsided when it comes to the flap. Mini Kellys that I know for a fact are authentic. I think I have mentioned this in a previous video of mine. I have this one friend who has several Mini Kellys, and she noticed that one of her Mini Kellys, the flap is completely lopsided. So she took a ruler and there were several, I think, millimeters of difference between one end and the other on her Mini Kelly's flap, and Hermes did say that she could send it back to Paris, they could measure it, and then they could decide if it's something that could be replaced. But do you really want to go through all of that after you not only waited months if not years for one of these bags, but you also spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on it? You're probably just going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to deal with it. At least I think most people would say that, including myself. So personally, is the Hyperial, is the Mini Kelly a great bag? Yes, it is a phenomenal bag, or at least it was. But at this point, it's just something that I feel like we've seen just a little bit too much of. But please let me know what you think. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the Mini Kelly and all of these pieces. And while you're down there, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really, really soon.